For a 2004 Big Dog Chopper, and the problem I was having was my headlight was not working, but the indicator gauge there was stuck on high beam. And everywhere I looked, I could not find any information on how to get this thing apart to remove the headlight. So I wanted to document it so that maybe it might help somebody else. So to start with, on the bottom side, you will see that there is a little fastener there. It takes a very small Allen wrench. I'm not sure what size. Just gently back it out of there. I've already had this apart once, so that makes it a little easier. It comes out. Recommend using a tray. I've got this little magnetized one that works pretty good so I don't lose stuff. Next, this outer ring will unscrew counterclockwise. Like I said, I've had this apart before, so it's way easier than it was when I initially tried to get it off. You have to be careful so you don't scratch it or damage it. Next, there is a ring on the inside, right in there, that needs to come out. And what I used was another Allen wrench, and basically stick it inside that hole and then rotate it out. There's probably a fancy tool out there that will do this for you, but I do not currently own that tool. And when it gets ready to come out, you can turn it by hand. And since I've already taken the bulb and everything out, the whole thing comes with it. And so that's what that ring looks like. Just a small ring, it's got threads on it. I took a little wire wheel and cleaned up the threads just to make it a little easier for the next time it needs to come up. So when I got in there, I got the bulb out, and this is the connector that comes from the wiring harness that your light bulb will plug into. And upon close inspection, you can see that it has gotten hot at some point. There you can see that it actually burned a hole through the side of it. On the inside, it's pretty nasty looking too, which is most likely why the light bulb was not working. There again, it melted the plastic. So I was able to go to my local motorcycle shop, Steel Customs in Indianapolis, Indiana. They used to be a Big Dog dealer, and they have this nice little kit that you can purchase. It's about 12, 13 bucks. Comes with a new plug, and as you can see, it is in much better condition than the one that was previously in it. It also has the wires that are already secured inside of the plug with the ends on it already, so it should plug into the existing wiring harness on the bike. I damaged mine when I was taking it apart, but it comes with these little connectors that you can attach to the wires, along with some heat shrink tubes to protect it from damage in the future. Did a pretty good job of boogering up the connectors when we took the plug apart. So we're gonna cut those ends off, these guys. And some of them are completely missing or damaged. And then we're gonna attach these new ones that came with our kit. Okay, we've got the old ends cut off. So now the wire's nice and clean. Now we need to strip the insulation off. Okay, now you can see that we've stripped the insulation back from the wires. Kind of hard to see. Alright, we got our connectors on. I'm not really confident in them, to be honest with you. Probably should have soldered it all together, but we'll see how long it lasts. Okay, we're going to get ready to connect the plug to those. Remember to put your heat shrink tubes on first so that you can melt them after you connect everything. Then you want to match up your wires based on the color. Okay, we've got the plug hooked into the new connectors. We've got our heat shrink tube on there. Next, we're going to put our new bulb in. Remember not to touch the bulb. I just want to test it to make sure it works. Okay, we've got the bulb secured in the new plug. Let's hit the key and see what happens. Hopefully, hey, we got a light. Let's try the high beam, low beam, high beam, low beam. Good deal. So now we got to do is put our heat shrink tubes on. Next, got our heat shrink tubes on. You just got to be real careful when you're doing that. I ended up using just a basic little propane torch that I use for odds and end jobs. Probably a little bit too big for this project. Needed one of those little fine tipped, maybe like a pencil style little torch, or that way you can really focus your heat so you don't damage the wires around it. But got it installed. Now it's time to put it together. Okay, now we're going back together. We basically stuck the light in. It's only got one way to go. It's got a little clip that holds it in place, and then hook the plug in. It's got a little rubber grommet that goes on the back side of it, of the bulb housing. And now we're putting that little small ring back in place. Make sure that you're paying attention to a lot of the parts, as I say, top. Make sure those are pointed to the top, so that whenever you're done putting everything together, your bulb will give you the right kind of light at nighttime. Okay, now you can see we've got the ring in there. Got it nice and snug. What helped me, and this sounds so silly, but I used a pair of vice grips to kind of help support it so that I could get some extra leverage on to get that thing tightened. Again, there's probably a tool out there that somebody's made that hooks onto a ratchet or something, but I got it nice and snug. I lined up the bike to make sure that the top, up here where it says top, is lined up with the center portion up here, nice and snug. Next, that part that you heard that I dropped, this next ring, we will put it on. Just be very careful to kind of get it started. Go counterclockwise until it's nice and even on the face of the housing, and then you can go back. Oops. You can go back clockwise to get it to tighten up. I'll be really careful with those threads. You don't want to cross thread it. Okay, it took me a minute, but I got everything on there straight. Now we'll snug it down. Just get it snug. And then you need to grab your little bitty fastener. Little bitty guy. I'm going to put it on the end of my Allen wrench. Like that. It's having a hard time focusing on it. So that I can easily get it started under there. That's it. Fingers crossed. We should have a light. And we do.